If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Recently, I've covered that people are starting to push back. I know a lot of people go, well, that doesn't mean anything, but it does mean something. It does. Because as people grow frustrated with everything that's going on, they start to awaken because they start to smell BS. That's how the awakening process happens. When you start to smell BS and you're told all this stuff is happening in a world around you, and then you go out and you don't see it happening, you start to smell it. You start to dig deeper. And that's how you end up down the rabbit hole. And one of the funniest protests that I've seen, I mean, there's a few, and I'm going to show you some clips. In Ohio, there was a great protest. A lot of people put up videos. They filmed themselves. The best one's got to be in Michigan, where take a look at how the people fought back literally by jamming up traffic right in front of the state capitol or the state house, parking their cars and holding their horns. Just to send the message out that people have had enough.
Michigan, protesters followed social distancing guidelines by driving around the state capital of Lansing, hoping to cause a traffic jam. Grady Trimble was there, reports in Lansing now. What happened? It's Grady.
Well, Bill, it's still going on. This thing started at around 11 o'clock this morning, and it shows no signs of stopping. They wanted to clog the streets here, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're sending a message to Governor Gretchen Whitmer that they don't agree with her stay-at-home order. They say it goes too far, takes away their rights, and in some cases is too arbitrary. For example, you can go on a sailboat or a canoe, but not on a motorboat. You can't go to a second home if you live in the state, but someone from out of the state can drive to their second home in Michigan. And at big box stores, you can buy groceries and medicine, but there are certain areas of the store that have to remain closed, such as the parts of the store that sell paint, carpet and flooring, as well as garden supplies and furniture. Many of the people I spoke to here say there are such strict provisions and that the governor did this for her own political ambition. Governor Whitmer says she understands people are frustrated and angry, and she also says she supports their right to protest like this. She just hopes they do it in a way where they practice social distancing and don't jeopardize their health or the health of the first responders here. A lot of the people I talked to, Bill, say they're okay with a stay-at-home order, but they think it shouldn't be one size fits all. For example, there are a lot more cases in Detroit than there are in rural parts of the state.
That's unbelievable. Grady, keep an eye on it. Thank you. It's loud.
And this is great because guess what? It's your right to protest. And people are getting pissed off being told that they can't go to work. They're getting pissed off being told these things that they must and have to do. And then there's articles that come out, which I've shown everyone over and over, all this stuff where it completely contradicts everything they say. They contradict themselves. They don't even realize what they're saying. Here's a few things, and stick around and listen to some of this stuff. Let me start with MSN releasing an article where this is what they're saying. The death toll from the virus in the U.S. is nearing 31,000 as of today, after President Trump said the country passed its peak for new cases. The jump in the toll, which stood at more than 26,000 Wednesday, comes after New York implemented a new way of counting fatalities. So listen to that. A new way of counting fatalities. You might say, oh, what's the new way? Is there a new way to blood test? Is there a new way to do something? Okay, let me hear more. Sure, I'll tell you the BS. It says the city is now including probable cases for which officials did not have a positive test, but reason to believe it to be the cause of death. Huh? Come again? You remember I covered it, and many people covered it, right? I believe the senator in Minnesota coming out saying the CDC sent them paperwork and documentation telling them that anyone who has even the slightest symptom of it or could have been near somebody hypothetically that might have had it, to just put it on the certificate that they passed from the virus, right? We've heard people come out and say, I saw my grandfather's face on the news in a montage saying that he had it. He passed from having pneumonia for 4 months. This is the real stuff that's going on, right? And when they flat out come out and say this, the city is including probable cases for which officials did not have a positive test. Okay? That's like me going in and taking an AIDS test, having it come back as negative, going outside and getting hit by a train in the middle of the highway. Huh? Does that make sense? Absolutely not. Why would a train be on a highway? Exactly. Dragging my body back into the hospital in a million pieces and putting out my certificate that the cause of death was from this virus. It's the same thing. And people go, oh, that's a stretch, and you're just being stupid and making stuff, you're trying to be funny about it. Oh, yeah? You don't have a positive test result. How in the world can you be diagnosed with this? Oh, so that the number of fatalities continues to rise so they can continue to pump out the fear and make everyone think that this is never going away, that they need to continue to give up their rights, that they need to turn to Big Brother to save them, right? Which is really what it's about. Oh, Big Brother, please, Big Brother, come in with martial law. Please give me the mandatory shot so that I can go back to work. That sounds fun. I can go back and sit at a cubicle. Please give me the shot so that I never have to worry about having the common flu again. Meanwhile, when people go in for their flu shot, they flat out come out and tell you, yeah, there's no proof that it's going to work. Oh, there's no proof that it's going to work. Yeah, then the person gets the flu a week later and they still go back the next year and get their flu shot. Right? And they'll make this mandatory, and people go, it should be mandatory. Then people like me will sit there and we'll go, well, if you have the shot and I don't have the shot, aren't you immune? Aren't you 100% safe? Oh, what is it going to take next? Oh, Bill Gates is going to have to come out and say, well, nobody's 100% immune from the shot, but we see a 90% success rate. So there's still a small chance that you can get it. Okay, well, even if I got the shot, what would that have to do with them getting a small chance that they can get? Oh, because I don't have it, it makes it more likely that me could give it to them at a 40% success rate. Huh? That's all they have to do is just throw out nonsense like that. This is what's going on in the world. They're not even confirming any of these cases, and they're telling you that they're happening. And you want to know what else is going on in the world? Here's another article that's out there. Airline passengers. This might be the most frightening. No, I don't know if any of it's frightening at this point. It's the most ridiculous thing. All right, I don't even know if I could say that because everything's so ridiculous. But get a load of this. Airline passengers are being forced to take blood tests in certain countries before boarding a plane. Huh? Taking a blood test? Oh, right. You know why? Because they want your DNA. Another agenda I've talked about for years. The Freemasons with their child ID program to get your DNA. The Ancestry.com, the whole push with all the Hollywood celebrities, as if they don't know the royal bloodlines that they're related to, suddenly going on NBC. Oh, it's Lisa Kudrow from Friends. Who am I related to? Prince George III from Dublin? Oh! And everyone's like, I wonder who I'm related to. Guess what? You're not related to the royal bloodline, so you probably be rich and famous. But it makes people want to do it. I want to find out. I want to find out my exact, am I 2% Indian? Am I 5% Italian? I need to know. Thanks for giving us your DNA swabs. They're like, well, what's the government going to do with that? Oh, I don't know. Think about that. Jeez. It says, perhaps a sign of what the future holds for air travelers. Dubai-based airlines are beginning to carry out blood tests on passengers at the airport, right? Imagine that. The airport's not hell enough. Going through that ridiculous, security test. Get your laptops out, right? Open your laptops, get your shoes off and your belt. You get done with that, you're like, thank goodness I'm finally done with this crap, the charade that they created, where someone supposedly can bring on some type of weapon through hairspray. But then right after that, they're like, nope, get in line. Time to get blood work done. What are you going to start putting in the lab cores in the airports? Right? LabCorp, head to LabCorp before you get on your United flight from Alabama to Fort Lauderdale. Your 40-minute flight. And the funniest thing about it is how fast they getting those test results back. What do you get to get to the airport 6 hours earlier? Didn't they say it takes 5 days to get the results from this virus? Isn't that what they were telling us? 5 days? It takes days to get the results, right? It's not an immediate result. You got to send it to the lab and, oh yeah. And that's pretty much with most, diseases and stuff. When you get blood work, I know there's cases where you can do it in the morning and get it, the doctor might call you by the end of the day. That's a pretty long time, though. So what's going on? You're going to get the blood work done, get on the plane, go somewhere, so then they can say, oh, we let somebody on the flight who had it. Everyone who was on that flight, head to your local prison, which we let all the prisoners out, because don't forget that. They're letting prisoners out across America because they're worried that the prisoners, the people who commit, I'm not talking about like a prisoner who committed tax fraud. I'm talking about like prisoners who commit rape, robbery. Yeah, let's let them back on the streets so they can throw all these people, throw all of us into the quarantine. I mean, this is what's coming from this, and this is why protest is important. This is why more people just need to wake up. I mean, think about this. Oh, one day the numbers peaked. Oh, the next day it's not. And how they play with your emotions. And one of the big symptoms of all this is anxiety and panic attacks. Although that won't cause anyone anxiety. Being told one day you're going to be let free from your home prison, which don't forget that. For those of you who follow my channel, what, October, November, December? How many videos did I do talking about your home being your new prison? Showing you clips from 1984. Bringing in devices like the Echo. Building your home as if it's already a jail cell for you because you're putting yourself under surveillance. And now look, everybody's willingly staying in their jail cell and they're under surveillance. You know why? Because there's not enough jail cells across the country to put all the citizens in it. So why not have them do it to themselves and then tell them the only thing they should be doing in their home is watching the mainstream media news so that they can be indoctrinated and brainwashed. This is the joke of the world that we live in. If people don't push back, guess what? They're going to push it back at you, right up your rectum. And that's what they're doing right now. Never in my life, I did not expect when something like this happened that so many agendas would go through and be pushed at the same time. I can't even think of anything I've missed at this point. Or anyone out there's missed. Because there's so much stuff that we've all talked about for years and been told we're crazy people. And now you see all this stuff going on. This isn't just about, stay into the social distancing stuff. This whole aspect of 1984 and Big Brother. This whole surveillance state, making your home a prison, surveillancing it. The destruction of the dollar. How many people have been talking about the destruction of the economy for years? And they're like, everyone's been saying that. And then 2007, and nothing ended up happening. It went back up. Yeah, I mean, you just read article after article with these fake news about, $370 trillion. It's already been spent up by small business owners who got loans, for the epidemic. But have to destroy the dollar more. That way, what we can do is we can create a new currency. It can be electronic, and it could be in your wrist. Oh, and you won't be able to buy or sell without it. What's that called again? Oh, yeah, the mark of the beast. Have fun getting it. Have fun getting it, because there's no going back once you do. Let's hope more people wake up and protest against us. Not violently, but they go, you know what? There's more of us than there are of you, and we're not going to take your bullcrap anymore. Because that's what people need to do. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.